What is up, everybody? It's me, Duke Farley, back at it again here on Lost at Sea. It's been a minute, been a couple weeks, had some scheduling issues, but we are back and we are talking about Ascendance Live Season 4, Episode 14. Wow, what an episode. And guess who I'm here with? I'm here with, again this season, Scott. Scott, how are you? What's been going on, man?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. I could be better. I had two people left coming into the episode on my fantasy team, and now I'm down to zero.
Oh,
It's a tough one for
geez.
me.
So this was,
Did you ask me on purpose just so you could rub this in my face? Perhaps.
no,
I can't roll it out.
I had no idea who was on whose team, but that
Okay.
is an unfortunate event that we lost both of your members here.
I'll choose to
Um,
trust you, though I don't know if I can.
listen, listen, here we are. Scott, here we are. We're in the final four. We lost two people tonight. Scott, first of all, we lost Rachel. And we saw the first ever no votes at an elimination in Ascendance Live. Michael plays his pendant, and you know what? Rightfully so, because everybody wanted him out the round before he gets voted out again. So, what did you think of this historic night where no votes?
No votes. So maybe I missed it. I know that who was it? Chris G had the block a vote. Did they show us who he gave it to? Or did I just miss that?
So, Chris G last episode, and he did mention that he wanted us to talk about him. So let's do it right now.
Oh, perfect.
Chris G finds the block of vote at the elimination he attends right before he gets eliminated in a shelving unit, I think, right next to him. So
Mhm.
that was fun. And then next round he gets voted out with it in his possession.
If
What
only it was a flock of votes, because he needed more than just one.
he needed a lot that he needed a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, it was only one singular one, and as he left, he gave it to Adam, and
Okay.
that's how Adam came in possession of the block of vote, and uses it here tonight for a historic
Yeah, maybe
elimination.
maybe I just need to pay attention a little better because I was like, why are there what? But I knew that he had that. So that makes sense to me. So historic night, no votes. I think that I mean, it just feels like the perfect opportunity to throw a vote, you know? Like,
Yes.
if you know everyone's voting for Michael, why not just throw one to just somebody, you know? Um, so it's cool that we had an historic moment. I think that that's always cool, especially being that, I mean, I don't know if it's ever happened in Ascendance not live, but just to have something monumental like that go down in history as the first, really cool. And something cool for Rachel to be like, well, I would have won the game had it not been for this one little thing. But I think that it was a little bit of a missed opportunity for, I guess, Rachel specifically. She could have just thrown the vote somewhere else, but I think that it could have gotten anyone else to target someone else. Did you watch the votes? Do we know who Michael voted for? Or was it Rachel?
I'm assuming it's Rachel. I can't hear
Yeah,
anything, Scott,
me
when they're
neither.
talking about the votes. So
Yeah, me
I've been tuning
neither.
out the last couple weeks on that.
Yeah, the one week they said they have no footage and they just showed who everyone voted for. I was like, ah, I like that.
Yeah.
So notes to the editors. That's what we want.
Let's see that. I think they have a better sound system for this upcoming season, so we will be able to hear some more rationale of who people are voting.
Perfect. But I do like the little picture which just shows everyone like who they voted for. That was nice last week.
I didn't watch to the end to see that, so I'll have to go back and get the view count up on
Yes.
that video.
Guess that makes me the bigger fan.
Of course. Listen, Scott, you said that had Rachel not got voted out in this elimination, she would have won the game. Do you think that's true?
I said that she could have claimed it. If I'm being
Do you see a
honest, I
path? Do you see a path?
sure. I mean, she would have been sitting, I don't know if she could have won. She wasn't my winner pick. She hasn't been my winner pick for a bit. I think my winner pick is well, coming into tonight, looking at who was left, I was like, there's a really strong chance that I'm going to be losing both of my people. And as she was the one that got voted off first, and that me like the Captain Challenge, the second one, whenever Michael didn't pull it out, I was like, oh, it's definitely happening.
Um, we see no votes here. And then they're given an opportunity, Scott, to talk for about a minute.
Hmm.
Could not hear anything that was going on. But say you're in the position of the three people that are eligible to be voted. So I'm talking about Adam, I'm talking about Rachel, I'm talking about Taisha.
Hmm.
What are you doing? Who like if you're Rachel here who ends up getting all the votes on her, what are you like? Is there a move that she could have made here?
It's hard because I don't know the ins and outs of all the relationships super well. I feel like the green team, Rachel and Erica, had been winning a lot of challenges. So you want to stack every opportunity to beat Michael come the next round. So I think that that's one area that she could have tried to leverage. Just looking at her versus Adam, I think that Adam hasn't really been winning, and that's something that he's utilizing as a strength or a reason to keep him in the game. But at that point, I mean, they didn't know that Michael wasn't going to win. But if I was Rachel, I would lean into the fact that I'm pretty good at these challenges. I'm definitely better than Adam is. So if you want to take out Michael, which we only have 3 shots left, why get rid of someone that's going to assist you doing that? That would kind of be my argument if I was her.
Do you think there's any like looking at these past couple episodes, seeing, Chris G be eliminated, seeing Taylor be eliminated, some people that were close to people like Adam, like Rachel. Are you surprised like they didn't kind of come together, at all and kind of work together moving, into these later votes? Because I'm looking at these episodes and I'm like, these two's got their names keep getting thrown out, and they're when are we gonna work together here? Like, or are we just gonna keep going for each other and then eventually both get picked off?
Going back to the question before this one too, I think that's another thing that Rachel could utilize because all these people that Adam was tight with are the ones getting voted off. So that jury is stacked for Adam right now.
Yeah.
And you were alluding to who? Rachel and Adam?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I feel like the writing on the wall, there's been writing on the wall the past couple episodes that these guys, these two in particular, and Michael need to
Mhm.
kind of figure something out because, you know, the other three seem to be in lockstep.
Yeah, you always need to take a step back and look at everyone in the game and whose name is not ever being mentioned, because that's the person that is in the tightest with the most people, most hands in hands in the most cookie jars. And Taisha wasn't even mentioned in that three. Michael was just like, I'm not voting for her. And I was like, dude, you don't have a vote. So yeah, you're not voting for her or anyone else because
You
you're
just
blocking
got
voted.
blocked.
Yeah. But for him to say that so quickly, for me, if my head was on the chopping block, I was like, well, then Taisha's good with Michael. Like, why don't we push it onto her a bit? Adam, I'm willing to vote for her. Are you? I guess it's a testament to the relationships she made as well. But I think that if you are getting targeted over and over and over again, you need to go to the people that are also getting targeted. That's how to get out of it, I think. And but yeah, we aren't really seeing that, but that is probably less of a testament to them playing poorly and more of a testament to the others playing really well socially.
Yeah, because it seems like these later portions of the game, it seems like Chris, Stacy, Taisha, they're not,
Yeah,
their names have
has
not been
Chris
thrown out.
ever? I don't think Stacy, Chris, or Ty have ever really been in danger.
No.
I mean, not recently, at least. I feel like Stacy, in my mind, every episode, she's giving input. She's kind of sitting back, but I don't. It's just she's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to the final two, I guess. No one's gonna stop me.
Yeah. And listen, it's been working.
Yeah,
So,
I do. She's kind of my winner pick right now. I think it's between her and Adam.
okay. So Stacy and Adam are your winner picks, like people that you want to win or people that you could see winning as of right now, or both. I mean, there's only four people left.
I was gonna say 50-50 shot with those odds. But I think both actually. I had messaged you the other day, just kind of recapping last week's episode, and I think that if I was in the game, those are the two people that I feel like I would be the most drawn to working with. I just feel like we have good temperaments, and I would relate to them the most. And I think that maybe that's the case for a lot of other people too, because although Adam's name does get thrown out more often, it's not getting that much traction, or no one's really actually voting him out. They're leaving, like, he doesn't know what's going on with the votes often, but he's still staying in. So it's like, oh, we're not going to include him in the plan, but I'm not going to get rid of him, which is not a bad spot to be. Again, looking at Endgame, if you're the person that's getting left out of vote after vote after vote after vote, if you make it to the end, you haven't really backstabbed anyone, so no one's going to feel any bad feelings toward you. So I feel like he's sitting in a great spot if he does make it to hold these votes.
Adam really has played up the I am not good at memory competitions or, any of these mental comps. So,
Played
take
up.
me, he's playing dumb and it's working, right? But do
Is
you
it? Is
think,
he? Is he playing or is he just being honest?
I think you said both. I think you said
Okay,
both.
okay. I wasn't sure.
But it's working for him up until this point. My concern is it seems like these three are tight. If Adam
Mhm.
loses, is he just shit out of luck?
I don't know
It seems
because
like he might lose this
yeah,
competition. I don't know why people think it's necessarily the memory one. I mean, I guess looking back, that's what they do a lot. But
historically,
historically speaking,
yeah. I
he could be in
think that
trouble.
next episode, I think Adam comes forth and reveals that he actually has a British accent, not a Boston accent, and he's fucking smart. He's been studying these games, and it's like mercy roll almost. It's embarrassing how much more of this game he knows than everyone else. And everyone's like, "Well, he got us." That's what I think. You heard it here first.
At that point, you just gotta tip your cap. I mean,
Yeah,
I would love to see that happen, but I will say I am really concerned for Adam moving into this
yeah.
next episode.
We're making jokes about it, but I'm not feeling great about it.
Yeah, the likelihood of that happening, I don't think is high, but um is let's take a step back because there's a big character that we have not mentioned up until this point that was the later part of the elimination. Michael Davis. Michael Davis, he obviously plays his pendant to save himself when everybody votes for him, but everybody decides, you know what, let's run it back and vote him all out again. So let's talk about Michael. What a journey, right?
Mhm. Truly, it's night and day from the previous time that he played. For the
Yeah.
better, obviously.
For the better, yeah. He just could not. His downfall, I think, was just could not get everybody to buy in on not voting him out. The threat level management, I think, was way too. He was a big threat, and people just wanted him out like for rounds. And he was safe, he says, from final 13 on until the point where he wasn't, and everybody was like, you know what, got to get rid of him.
Yeah, I think that it's tough because in order for him to have been able to maneuver socially this round, he would have needed to have been available to vote off earlier and make his way in socially in, I guess, game wise socially in an earlier round. But at this point, it's been just survival mode for him, like round after round after round. So when it came down to it, it was like, are we going to just give him a free pass so he can just continue to go round after round after round and probably win the next memory challenge? Because I mean, he was unlike Adam. I feel like pretty prominently he would have won that challenge. So I think that just the timing of when he became vulnerable to be voted off, there was just not really a great opportunity to save himself because everyone knows kind of what the challenges are historically looking like. And yeah, he just if he was going to survive a round without the safety, it would have needed to be earlier, like final 8, final 7 potentially. But then again, I don't know if he would have been able to. So I think that he played really, really hard because he had to play really hard. I'm proud of him for that because I remember earlier rounds that was kind of where we were thinking that he was going to need to be, and he did it.
He did it. He arose to the occasion. and he made it all the way to the final five. I want to go through, just kind of the beginning portions where we see that Michael has not won safety. He was the first one to get to the puzzle, but Stacy ends up pulling it out. Kind of sad that we didn't get to see the puzzle at all because I
Mhm.
had no idea what was going on with the board or what the puzzle was about. But
Yeah.
she killed that. She killed that.
Mhm.
Uh, it seemed to me like Taisha from her confessionals, and this could just be editing, production telling them to say stuff, to make
Mhm.
it seem like there's a possibility for Michael. It seemed like Taisha was open to the fact of keeping Michael in the game. But the route that she thought the way to go to save him was to get Adam on board, to get those two to stop butting heads and vote out Chris, I think, was the one that was not safe.
Mhm.
And Michael kind of just did not pick up on that, I feel like, and was like, no, we need Chris to vote out Adam. Do you think that's a miss on Michael's part?
It is for sure, because I remember earlier in the episode he had made a comment about how he wanted to sit in the middle between the two groups, and the two groups that he had painted were Stacey and Adam versus Taisha and Christopher. And in my mind, when he said that, I was thinking, oh, are those the groups? Because I didn't look at it that way.
I think he had him swapped. I think he had him
Yeah,
swapped.
I think that he knew that they were grooves, so maybe just didn't know which grooves there was. He's too busy surviving, man.
Listen,
He wasn't. He's busy finding pendants and stuff, and not voting at eliminations. That's what he was busy doing.
he missed a couple
But
rounds. Listen, it's fine.
and it is kind of comical to think of it as him being like, all right, we got to get Chris to vote up Adam, and Taisha in his mind, like Christopher's her best friend, and in Michael's mind, and she's like, or we could get Adam. And he's like, no, we have to vote for Adam. And she was probably just like,
Hmm.
okay, well, I guess it's gonna be you then.
If I'm Michael, right, and clearly I haven't had my finger on the pulse of the game really, dynamics, who's with who. I think Taisha's the perfect person to be just like, okay, you know what's going on. People are telling you stuff. Obviously, they're not telling me stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run with what you say. You seem like you
I
know
was
what's going on.
I was thinking the same thing. I go to Taisha, girl, I'm dead in the water. You're my number one person, have been for the last couple rounds. We just need one more vote. And literally, I'm at your beck and call. Whoever you want to get rid of, whoever's the biggest threat to you, I'm down. Who?
Yeah,
Just tell me who. That would be my play. His play was like, we're voting Adam.
yeah. Because it seems like those two had the perfect kind of contrasting games where Taisha low key kind of knows what's going on, the inner workings of relationships. Michael out in the front, getting powers, making plays and stuff like that. But you gotta know your strengths. You gotta know your strengths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I also was thinking about this earlier too. Like once Rachel left, in my mind, it probably would have been the most advantageous for him to go after Stacy had she not won, because she's the only new person left in the game. We got a whole slew of returners still left, and she is thankfully won, because again, I'm kind of rooting for her at this point. But had she not won, I think that would have been probably his best opportunity. So that challenge really fucked him over.
Yeah. 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 Scott, we're down to the final four. You mentioned who you're rooting for, but who's making it to the end, would you say, and who stands the best chance against this jury right now?
It is. I'm not really sure, because I could see it going a lot of different ways. It's tough. It's a tough read on what the jury is going to be looking for as well. It's a lot of different personalities and a lot of different. Who knows what the main group is kind of leaning toward, because there's obviously groupthink whenever you're in a setting like that in the jury. So if I'm looking at the groups, if I'm Christopher, I feel like if I'm gonna take someone that played a similar game to the end, I could see Christopher and Taisha sitting next to each other, because they've kind of been hanging back as a returner, really shifted the games they played the first time, took the little hints of things that they did wrong, and not like a 180 flip. They knew that they played a strong game the first time and have pinpointed areas that they can improve, and they both have. So I think that both of them would have a similar trajectory and story. So if they sat next to each other, I think it would be a really great battle. Adam, I think Adam has played the most different game out of the final four, because I kind of put Stacy in the same trajectory as Taisha, and Christopher kind of sitting back. they all kind of sat back in different ways, just kind of watching the game happen and doing what they needed to shift. But Adam was the only one that was really targeted the most. So I think for everyone else, it would be the smartest to get rid of him first. And then I think that it's just going to be a battle between those three.
Yeah.
I mean, if it might be a final three, right? We don't really know that.
I'm gonna lean
Historically, it's
towards
always a
no.
final two. Okay.
Historically, yes, it leans to a final two. I think All Stars in the org was the only time it was a final three. And we all know what happened.
I remember.
Um, but I wanted to touch on the point that you made with Stacy being the only newbie in the game at this point. If I'm, Chris, Taisha, Adam, and I've won the final three competition to get myself to the end, am I taking that into account? Am I worried about that?
Gosh. Yes, I think, but I don't remember who is all in the jury. Because I think that if we have mostly newbies on the jury, I think that they would take that into consideration. And I think that Stacey is a well-spoken person, and I think that she could play into that card a little bit and make it more of a thing than it would need to be or should be. Because I think Stacey, if I'm not mistaken, has a lot of experience with live games. And so being a returning in Ascendance, obviously it does mean something, but experience overall is a little bit different in live reality games because I don't know. I don't know the history of everyone's, but like if I played Ascendance and I was asked back and it's like my second live game ever, and Stacey's played like 50 live games,
I
is
think she
it really
has.
newbie? Isn't it? What is it? She has.
I think she has. Yeah.
So is it really a newbie versus a returner? Yes, in quote unquote, yes. But I don't know if I think that she is a good enough player to make it something more than it should be. And so that would be the danger in my eyes of letting her go in with that.
Are you intrigued by Stacy, like what she would be like in a final two speech kind of thing, like what she would say, um, and just how she would deliver a speech? Because Stacy's been a character you know, this season that we don't really know much about the ins and outs of Stacy's game. We know that she's obviously her partner was the first to go first. She's been in the duo section. She's been, like a rotating, uh, you know, duo partner person.
She's a swinger.
A swinger. Thank you for that.
Stacey the swinger.
Daisy the swinger. But like Taisha, like Chris, kind of has been a little bit low key when it comes to, making these moves. So would you be intrigued by that?
I think that early in the game, I've noticed Stacey was a crier. She cried almost every round. And I think that she let herself adjust. And it's just been an upward trajectory in winter. I can't think of the word, but just I really see her positioning herself on an incline to she's just been amping up her game from the beginning. She kind of let go of her emotions, and then she's still sympathetic, but she's not letting it control anything. So I think that she has been for a few rounds kind of thinking about what it's going to look like for her to win the game. And that's why I think I'm rooting for her as my winner. And it's a similar thing as I mentioned with Adam. I think Adam kind of sees that straight line of all my friends are over there. And I think that that's why those two are there because both of them are just headed that way if they can get there.
What's Chris's case? What do you think Chris's case is to win the game, and who do you think he's eyeing up to take to the end if he has the option to?
Chris is in, I think, the most interesting position of the three because he he's the one that I think needs to figure out what the jury wants to see in a winner because I think that he can win the game obviously, but depending on what the jury's looking for is going to dictate whether he wins or not. And if he can accurately figure out what they want in a winner and then selects the person that isn't that to go to the end with, I think that's how he wins. But if he chooses wrong, then I don't think he wins. But I think he's the person that I see most likely to make it to the final two. But it just depends on who he goes with, whether or not he wins or not. But I do
Yeah.
see him I don't know if saying that he's in the driver's seat per se, but I do see him he has the most maneuverability, I think, at this point to make it to the end, and I do see him making it. It's just going to be coming down to whether or not he chooses the right person to go with.
Right. My concern with Chris is I feel like Chris is of the people that are left in the game, of the four that are left in the game, he is the one that might get the most flack from some of the people that have gotten voted out. Because I think Chris played a little bit of the middle
Mhm.
and he shook some hands to some people that are on the jury and then kind of stabbed them in the back. So I'm a little bit concerned about how that is going to go over. It's always a
Yeah,
concern.
I think that we're aligned in our thinking then, because I think that's going back to what I was saying is like, what are they looking for in the winner? What are they gonna be like, damn, he did the thing, like he got me, or is he gonna be like, fuck you, you got me? Like it's just like you don't know until you really get in front of them. Because I think that he's played a stellar game, and I could see him getting in front of that jury and them just being pissed, and then even if he is well spoken, they're just like not gonna have it because they're mad, or they're gonna respect it. So that's why I think that he's in this weird position.
And I could argue that Taisha is in a similar position, but there's something about Taisha that I feel like she won't get as much
Mm.
flack for some of the things that maybe she did similarly to Chris. And I think it's just because maybe I don't even know why. I'm not really sure why.
Just
She might
demeanor.
just the
There's just something
demeanor.
about her that she's just like, I feel like every time that I'm on here with you, all that I say about Taisha is like, I don't get it. Like, if I just know for me personally, if I played the exact same game as Taisha, every single person in the game would be so mad at me. I don't know how to pull off the like, I betrayed you and people are fine with it. Like she would be like, I'm sorry, and they'd be like, I forgive you, and I'd be like, I'm sorry. They'd be like, not even speaking to me, like rounds after the game. So she just got that something, something. I don't know what it is, but I completely agree with you. They're not going to be mad at her.
It's the past couple rounds, Taisha has been in some what I would think would be some sticky like some sticky situations where she could have gotten voted out. Like even this past round where we have 0 votes and Taisha's name's on the table and not even considered. So it she just has the ability to work that magic and I think she has a knack for it.
Yeah, again, I can't relate. I just like I don't know because it's not like she doesn't have a big personality. Like she's a character in the game. I don't know. I don't. She is an anomaly.
Listen,
She can't be explained. When you see it, you know it, but words can't describe her
yeah,
finesse of people just liking her.
she's great at it. Um, So I do think that if Taisha gets to the end, the person that might give her the biggest run for her money would be potentially Adam. Just
Mm.
because he has a lot of friends on the jury at this point. He mentioned all of his friends getting voted out back to back to back to back, literally back, I think 5 in a row backs. Or Stacy, because I don't really know what to expect for her. I feel like Chris might get a little bit, like I mentioned earlier, a little flack from the
Pushback.
jury. A little
Mhm,
pushback,
yeah.
a little pushback. Um, but how much fun would you think would be watching Adam deliver a speech?
I think that it will be fun. I think that he would probably be like, I just need a cigarette, man. In the middle of it. His lung capacity with all the cigarettes might not be doing great. So hopefully he's hydrating, just really
Quick
prepping.
answers. Quick answers.
Yeah. Hopefully by quick it's succinct and delivers the punch that he needs. But I do think that he wouldn't need to explain himself a lot because his game is probably the most visible for everyone. So I feel like he would have to explain himself the least out of the four.
Yeah, his is pretty out on the table what he was trying to
Mhm.
do. Do you think he'll get a little bit of pushback with, a lot of the stuff that he wanted to happen obviously did not happen
It
in
just
the game?
depends on how he plays it because that is the perfect position to be like I tried so hard for you guys and we tried together and we couldn't make it happen and these last couple rounds I just got lucky and pushed through and I made it and I'm proud I did this for us and this win would be as much of a win for me as it would be for you if I can do this. I think it
Yeah.
aligns everyone. And they're like, oh man, if Adam wins, it's like me winning. A piece of me made it.
Speaking of if somebody wins, people have to vote. We have a jury here. It started with Grace, and now we are all the way to Michael Davis. Who are you most excited to see in a jury atmosphere? Like what they're thinking, maybe a question. Who do you think is going to be a good juror to keep an eye on?
I really just thought of Grace. Like,
I've been thinking about what Grace is thinking. I don't know.
Does
I'm
she
not
think
sure.
of anything? She's like WWBD. What would Billy do? She's probably just gonna vote for whoever. She's like, I've heard Billy talk about this person before. I'm just gonna vote for them. Um, I think that it's tough because we do have a bunch of characters on the jury. I feel like as far as the drama, the dramatics, Chris G, I feel like will come with some heat for them. I really was. Whenever he got voted off, he was so respectful for everyone, and I love that. And I also was like, remember the fight in the group chat between Chris G and Rachel? And I was like, was this
Yeah.
theater? Were they just playing this up for us?
Did you didn't see the continuation of it, I guess, because it was theater.
Oh no, I'm not reading those group chats. There's so many messages in there.
It
I
was a
just
lot
have
of
a
fun.
good read.
It was a lot of fun to follow. But
I pop in here and there and make a comment once or twice, but that's the extent. I can't read, you know that. But no, I think that he is someone that will bring the drama, and it will be. I don't think that it'll be not wholehearted. I can't think of the word. It's getting late. I can't think anymore.
genuine.
I think that he is. I think that he'll bring the dramatics in a funny way. Like he'll like give the hard hitting questions just to like giggle about it afterwards.
Yeah, he loves that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've been running the number. I have not been running the numbers. I've been just thinking about some of these jurors. And I'm really excited to see the round table with Nicole. They do it every season and see, who takes charge. I have a feeling I know who's going to take charge in the conversation, but I'm excited to see what they have to say about these finalists. It's going to be so much fun.
Just remind me, did they do it just for the final two or final three? Final two?
They do it, I believe they do it for just the final two.
Okay.
So the third placer will be a part of the conversation.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So much to look forward to. I believe next week is the finale, and it'll be crazy. Are we gonna get our first female winner, Scott? People have been asking.
They have been asking, and I think
50-50 shot.
I think Stacey and Taisha can deliver. He's got to slay some boys. It would honestly be super fitting as Taisha or Stacey winning because they've been talking about the girls all season. People can't stop talking about the girls. And so
I don't think they will.
Hopefully. Actually, I I don't have too much stake in the game now that all my team's gone. So I think anyone winning the season at this point is a win for the whole community because they think that they all have played a really good game. But in my heart of hearts, it's time to make history. Let's get a girl.
Let's get a girl. And just give me a quick update. I did not post the draft scores. Do you have a shot to win?
No. I think I was in second coming into this one. And so now I just lost all my people, so I'm out.
But
Just
you never know. You might get some points. You might get some points from this episode.
I already tallied most of it. So I don't think I'm pulling it out. But yeah, me and Stephanie were the first two out, and it's cool. We're in Losers Lounge together. We're holding hands.
Listen, Scott, so much fun talking about Ascendance Live. I appreciate you coming on and and chatting.
All right, glad to be here as always.